you tell me? I have much more respect for you telling me that. And you didn't even tell me.
Smiley little face.
Yeah, we did it without her.
I'm a lady too, so I understand.
Did she like out her and Matt deliberately so it would put a wedge between Minnie and Matt? I don't know. That's one of my questions.
90-day fiancé, 90 days.
Hello, I'm Wilko, and welcome to Rehashed. We're doing 90-day fiancé. It's season 11, and we're up to episode 5. If you like these videos, you must comment below as much as possible. Also, comment to other people's comments, and make sure that you watch all the way through if you want more 90 days right here on Rehashed.
You don't come into my wedding.
She said no, so we did it without her.
This just completely changed the whole story.
Let's get straight into it. We're at the airport because Sapa and Shekinah, they're going to start the 90 days. They're on their way to the US, and they're all through customs.
Yeah, usually they detain me because of all my surgeries. I don't look like my passport anymore.
Oh my God. Wow, I really want to go and see what she looked like beforehand. Like if she looks that drastically different. Sometimes I feel a little bit self-conscious, you know, when you go to the post office or whatever and you have to show your ID and they look down at the ID and they look up at you and you just feel like going, okay, so I put on a couple of kilos. It was a big Christmas many months ago. It does tell us though that Shekinah has really done a lot to change herself. And you know what? You do whatever makes you feel happy. But when is like enough? I feel like Shekinah might be one of those people who are like severely addicted to changing everything about themselves on the outside. This is Sapa's first time in America, and he says that he would pretty much die for his fiancée, Shekinah, but he would definitely not do another 13-hour flight, or certainly not as many times as she has.
I would never do that.
And here's the most romantic thing. Because they're in the United States of America, they can lay on the PDA thick.
I have to do something.
How
does it feel?
No one is staring at us.
No one's staring at us.
Oh, you got a camera crew there.
We're in LA.
Can I you too?
Not in public. I think that's
13 hours of flight, babe.
Oh, well, you could have done it at Mile High Club. I'm really sorry, baby boy. It is still illegal for you to do her out in public. All right, so Shekinah says that even after all the time that they've spent together, she still thinks that maybe the 90 days isn't enough time to know if she wants to, you know, marry the public kiss virgin. Well, I guess virgin no more.
I'm a public kiss virgin.
And she's going into this with very much like my house, my terms. But shouldn't it be seen as like our home now? That'd be nice. He can have a say in things, right? That's called compromise. Anywho, if you're keeping track, their 90 days starts now. Over with Maddie and Stevie. They're off to meet the rents, and he is way more nervous now because Dad only found out about him 5 minutes ago.
Despite the fact that I waited till the last minute to tell my dad. Sorry.
Okay.
Every time Maddie says he's okay, he's not okay. Yeah, it seems like he's totally over it. But you got to imagine that he's coming here to America. He's seeing all these new things, new experiences, completely different customs and the way that we live our lives. And then he's hit with the bombshell that his fiance's parents have zero clue that he exists. They're already going to think a lot of things about a guy from Iran. So you've not made it easier.
Well, hello.
He's nervous.
You should be.
I've seen all these in the horror
Such a
movies,
damn
and in those movies, it never ends well for guys like me.
Don't worry, Maddie. I don't think they'll murder you right there. You know, the camera crew's there. Once the camera crew leaves, then it might be a little bit risky. But right now, you're fine. Sometimes the southern accent can sound really campy to me. So someone who is like very masculine and southern and self-proclaimed redneck, I love it when they go, hello.
Well, hello.
It just sounds really campy to me and I love it. I'm sure they don't want to hear that.
Super different. Like, I don't know where to start. Like, the cars, people.
They're pretty much isolated, right? Iran, as far as...
Iran is like one of the most isolated countries.
Yeah,
in terms of everything.
You know, there's
Get
a lot
right
going
into
on
it.
now, tension between the U.S. and Iran.
When you turn on the news, like there's always Iranian chanting death to America,
Yeah,
these kind of things.
You didn't do that, huh?
Never, never.
Yes, Maddie, that's the right answer. It's not something that you could say like, well, in my younger days, yeah, I skipped around and, you know, chanted death to America, but now I'm totally over it. I don't know the span of time of how long they've actually been there because of the edit, but it seemed like he sat down in the fold-out chair and then all of a sudden was into like, I'll see you from Iran, right? Well, our country hates your country. How do you feel about that? I wonder if it's the producers who just want to go home early and they're like, hey, can you start like just really pummel him hard with like really hard-hitting questions from the second that his butt hits that camping chair?
A harder standard for women over there.
Yeah, exactly. Like the way they wear clothes and also If you're a woman and you want to leave the country, if you're married, your husband has like signed something.
Like property.
Right now, in my head, I'm like, here we go. To me, the interview just started with that question.
Maybe get to know him a little bit before you start making it a battle of countries. Find out who Maddie is as a person. I don't disagree with you. It is good to make sure that he doesn't think that women are some sort of property. That is good for you to check, but maybe just like warm up and say like, hey, what's your favorite color, Maddie? Maybe ask him what's his favorite boobs painting of Maddie's in the house. I don't even know if Dad knows about the nude paintings. All right, let's move on to Mark and Mina. And what a life for her now. You know, instead of driving everywhere like a pleb, she's going to fly to North Carolina to see some of his family. Oh, well, that's a real disappointment for her, isn't it? She was probably like, yay, we get to fly somewhere. Oh, to see your family. Oh, they all hate me and think I'm a gold digger.
Take Maria with you?
She's still in I thought you were getting
they left
Maria.
her in the
You left the
plane.
baby? Didn't even notice.
Great parents.
Yeah. At least we didn't drive off.
You know, what parent hasn't left their child behind somewhere? It happens. You forget. Maria had her iPad. As long as it had enough charge, she would have been fine by the time he got back. Obviously, Mina is not keen to see Jordan on this trip or ever. And we're all really shocked about that.
I told her about the jacuzzi when we were...
What? I dropped the conversation with you and me and jacuzzi with Jordan. Why?
Sorry, Mina.
I completely regret really relaying anything either one
Why
said.
would you
I
do
should have
that?
just kept quiet, let them two interact with each other and not know what the other one had said. It was a stupid thing to do. I'm talking too much.
No, it's not just about talking too much. It almost sounds like now you're trying to play them off each other and see who can win your affection the most, Mark. Like, is it just dumb old man or are you doing this shit deliberately? That is one of the dumbest things that you could ever do. Now, there is zero chance for either of them to ever really make peace and coexist, each getting their own time with daddy. Also, to tell her as soon as they arrive. That's messy as shit, Mark. Jordan also seems to be in some sort of control here. Like, Mark isn't the parent. Jordan is the one who needs to approve things, which I find a weird dynamic. After that news, let's give Mina some time to cool down and let's head back to Mexico because there's 3 in the bed and the little one said, divorce your wife and get me a K1 visa. I can see the obvious pluses for Matt. But what I can't really see is what Amini is getting out of this. It's like she wants to have this little girlfriend, Annie, but then she doesn't want the complications. But all it is one huge complication.
Last night, Amani is sick.
That's
I
not
want
good.
to try, touch her, play with her. But she said, no. After that, I have sex with Matt. Haven't slept well. More well.
Wait, did Amini know that you had sex with Matt? Was she sick in the bed next to you just going, good one, guys? That all seems a little bit awkward to me. So one person is sick that you both supposedly love, and you decided to still go and have sex? I don't know about that. Is it like a throuple handbook? I feel like we need a throuple handbook.
What does your family know so far about Matt and I?
My brother, he thinking you are my friend. Matt is my boyfriend.
What do you mean?
So he doesn't know about a mini?
Yes, but he looked at the photos, but he don't understand.
Does he or does he not know? What
No,
does he
no,
think
I
I
don't
am?
know. It's not easy, honey.
I'm a third wheel coming all the way to Guadalajara. Honestly, I'm still trying to process what she just said.
So you know how we talked about Amini being really jealous? I think it's only going to get worse now that she's confirmed as the third wheel. We're definitely going to see that jealousy rear its ugly head. Annie then goes on to say that she's going to come clean, but it makes it more awkward for everybody because when they're there, you're going to go, oh yeah, by the way, so you know how I said this guy's my boyfriend and this chick's just a friend? Well, by the way, they're married and I'm with both of them and I'm going to take my family to live with them, but they've got to get divorced for, like, honestly, how do you even start to explain that? You really needed to like start with just the tip before giving them the whole shaft. Amini keeps saying she's not cool with being hidden. It seems very triggering for her. So maybe divorce isn't such a great idea for you guys. Over with Aaliyah in Brazil, she has been approved for the K1 visa, even though that she didn't change anything about herself.
I just can't wait to start my new life in America.
But I'm still questioning how invested Sean is in this whole thing. I just don't see Sean wanting this because he is a gay man. and he is now with someone who identifies as a woman. I do not doubt that they love each other, but I just don't know if it's a long-term thing that's actually going to work out now. All right, so there was a lot of chat in the last episode and in the comments with everybody writing Meg in and Meg out, am I right? So we have to check in with Juan and Jessica. Meg in, with an I, not an E, has finally got the truth from Juan that he cheated on Jessica while away. And Jessica doesn't seem all that cut up about it. I can only assume that she knows because she comes over and she's like so casually listening as he's like, yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, I messed up. And also his weird reaction of like, I can say it. I'm a grown-up. I don't know if you should say it to Megan.
I messed up. It's fine. I'm an adult. I can just say it.
It's taken a year for you to admit this to me, Juan, when I confronted you in Colombia a year ago.
My bad.
Wait, Megan, baby, this isn't your relationship. In the grand scheme, he owns you bloody nothing. You're sitting there crying. I get it. You can hurt for your friend, but your friend isn't blinking. So I'm guessing your friend absolutely knows. Why are you having a complete conniption about it? Maybe look to your friend and go, hey, you cool with this? Because this doesn't sit right with me. But if you're cool with it, well, I approached you.
I confronted you in Colombia a year ago.
Well, of course he lied to you. Who are you? You're just some random chick called Meg In who loves cow's balls.
So, I mean, I do want to say, like, I did know this. It's something that we decided to work through. My best friend, Jess, like, I love you more than anything. I love my wife, I think. That's why I protect you.
Wait, so you're protecting your friend from what Juan did to you? Make it make sense. It's so great to be a supportive friend and it's great to have supportive friends, but this feels like obsessive. Megan, do you want to be with Jessica? Are you okay, Megan?
He sat there and cried to me and begged me to forgive him. The big thing is, like, this was like a year and a half ago.
There's
People
no
don't
skills.
forget.
There's
I
no
know,
skills
but
to
I mean, it's not like I forgot either. But I want to back up a little bit too. Okay, so like at that time, I was not in my best place either, and I told you that. Like I found myself crossed that line. The same time that Juan was feeling weak in our relationship, I was as well. I found myself kind of catching feelings for like an ex-boyfriend, but they were never anything that I acted on. I mean, he was your ex-boyfriend. But
what?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, did Megan drop a bomb? Okay, maybe we should keep Megan around if she's dropping things. I don't think Juan knew that. Juan had no idea that it was her ex-boyfriend that she was cozying up to. Even though nothing apparently happened, she didn't sort of cross a line. It seemed like a little bit emotional cheating. Doesn't really, like, apples aren't apples. Even though you're trying to flip it now for you to seem like an equal victim, Juan.
And this just completely changed the whole story.
She did bad, but you, like, banged another chick while in a relationship.
Why was she hiding it from me then?
Just reminder, you cheated. You like properly cheated. What Jessica did is still like emotional cheating. I agree with you there, but she didn't do some rando. Back with Mark and Mina.
Comme Jordan, il est fâché, j'ai donné une bonne raison, je vais m'habiller très sexy.
Are you gonna get sexy and make Jordan even? He's not gonna get mad at that.
Yes, she is. Do you know your daughter at all? Oh, I love how petty Mina is. That's not going to help the situation at all. But Mina, this isn't going to help the situation. Nothing that Mina's doing, and I totally agree with everybody who's saying that Jordan's awful. I can see what you're saying, but Mina is also equally awful. She is not trying to help the situation whatsoever. And don't get me wrong, I don't know what's actually going to make these two coexist so that Mark can have his French Basque and eat it too. That's a cake and eat it too joke. French Basque is a cake. I think it's a cake. I think that's what I ate that one time.
Of course, she's late. I just want to go to the island.
Oh, she's late. Oh, God, you've really put her out. Oh, you know it's your dad who's late as well, okay? And even if Mina was going to be on time, you know for sure that production was going to delay her. Just to make Jordan as mad as possible. Jordan is once again giving me spoiled brat vibes, so I'm glad that nothing's changed since the last catch-up. And again, I'm not saying that Mina is some sort of breath of fresh Parisian air, but Jordan clearly has no respect for anyone, including her dad. This whole thing on the beach is the weirdest family catch-up I've ever seen. No one wants to be there. No one's sort of sitting down. We're just like standing on the beach.
So crazy. I still can't believe that, like, you have a baby. Definitely wasn't expecting to have another sibling.
Oh, there it was. There's a dig. I thought it might have been a dig. Like, it's so crazy. I didn't expect you to have a baby. 100% dig. And like Jordan, maybe some of these awful thoughts, just like keep them on the inside. Like, do you want to foster a relationship? Someone has to be the bigger person. I don't think it's going to be Mina. I also don't think it's going to be you, but anyway.
I feel very awkward right now. The whole dynamic's different now with them here.
Yeah, but not between me and you.
But I feel like this is like your new family now, and I'm not. But now it is happening, like it's getting real, and it's strange and it's awkward. You don't have to forget about the other kids just because you have another.
We're here to see.
I know.
You're a grown woman. I get it. It's going to be so awkward when your dad moves on, he marries someone younger from overseas, you don't really like her, they start having more kids, but like, you're a grown woman now. Like, you must understand that life is messy. I don't want life to ever be this messy for me, but you just want to seem like you're above it all. And guess what, Jordan? You're not. You are not a perfect human, and you're trying to make it seem like, well, none of this matches my standards. And all it really boils down to, especially from that comment, is that you're just butthurt that you're not daddy's only obsession anymore. You were probably daddy's little girl and he did everything for, and he clearly still does everything for. And now you've got some competition and you're just butthurt about it. It's not like we can undo what's happened. You have a sister now.
I hope he don't think it's my fault.
Kind of. My dad wouldn't have a baby if he was with someone who is his own age.
That's his choice too.
It's not what I would have pictured for you when you and mom got divorced and you were going to get remarried.
I don't think I have to ask permission to have another kid.
This is like the reversal. Normally what happens is parents see their kids grow up and their kids don't grow up to do exactly what the parents sort of envisioned or wanted them to do. And then the parents get mad that the kids aren't doing exactly what the parents wanted them to do. But this is like a role reversal. Jordan's like, well, you didn't do all the things that I expected you to do when you got divorced. So it's not your life. You're an adult. You've been looked after. Like, clearly he's not been a bad dad. And now you have your own life to live. And what, you have to see the family a few times a year? I get it. Be protective of your dad and keep one eye open because Mina is sus as fuck. At some point, as an adult, you have to ask yourself these questions. Am I functioning off my own emotions here? Like, am I letting my own emotions drive me? And it clearly seems like yes.
It's my decision. It's my body. I don't understand.
This isn't what I would have envisioned or wanted for our family.
You don't get to dictate how your dad lives his life now. You can sit there and say, hey, look, I think that maybe having more kids is a little bit reckless given your age. I also don't really know Mina, and what I've seen so far is not great. But you're acting as if you're the parent in this situation. And I get it because Mark is so like limp and a pushover. It's easy for you to get confused as to what your role is here. You can share some thoughts, feelings, and concerns, but ultimately, it's not your life. I'll tell you what I am on board with. Sean's mum. She's a gift. Again, I want a whole show made about her.
And I'll have a shot of tequila, wine.
You want something to drink with it? Water or anything?
Water. And room the tequila. Please.
Oh, I love Janine. She's a gift and I want to know more about her life. We find out that she's making it rain on strippers in WeHo at the ripe old age of 86. Let this be my retirement life, please, okay? We also find out that Sean's mum is the only person in his close circle that had met Aaliyah before she became Aaliyah and her now, so can really know the differences. Like, what has she noticed? She says that this Aaliyah is free to be herself. And that's actually a really sweet thing for her to pick up on. It's also becoming very apparent that Sean is like a secrets guy. And I get it, it's hard. When you stay in the closet for so long, it is hard to stop keeping secrets. But at some stage, Sean, we've got to stop doing that.
And some of my closest friends don't know that Aaliyah that she even exists, that she's coming to the US. Wow. I mean, I haven't told the kids. Crazy. It's a recipe for a lot of opinions. I'm trying to get clear with everything in my life. And until I feel like I'm super clear, why give anybody else a reason to start poking holes in something that I'm already looking at in a bunch of different directions?
Are you making it seem like you're questioning it still a lot? You don't want to tell your kids too much because then you're going to get a Jordan situation, and you certainly don't want a Jordan situation.
I'm seriously worried about Sean's children.
What gets to me is that you're still clearly not sure about this thing because that's why you don't want anyone else's opinion put in there. And Aaliyah is on her way. Anyway, the kids also must know something is up because you travel to Brazil a lot. It'd be a lot for any family to process, especially because they grew up with a straight dad and then you were a gay dad and now you're going to be in a relationship with a woman again, but ultimately it's your life. My feeling is that Sean hasn't told his kids and his nearest and dearest because he doesn't actually see a future in this at all. And also in the conversation, it's like his mum, and I love her to death.
How is Aaliyah going to feel?
There's that.
Tequila shot and all is the only one actually thinking about Aaliyah and how she's going to feel in all of this.
My dad's crazy.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Over with Juan and Jessica, they have left Meg in, thank goodness, although I would like to see her again at some stage just to cause some more mess. And Juan is still being all shocked about this guy that he knew about, apparently, but then he didn't know it was her ex. And how dare Jessica admit some details, even though he completely cheated on her.
So how about this boyfriend thing?
I told you that. There was nothing that was ever acted on.
I mean, I think it's pretty unfair that you guys come at me all the time, like bad guy chasing me down.
I mean, but I didn't cheat on you. Physically cheated on me.
You cheated emotionally. Like, are you feeling the old feelings?
True.
Are you feeling new feelings? Like, what's going on here?
Look, it's bad that she admitted details, but you physically went out and banged someone else. Jessica says that she's been faithful and she has never acted on anything. So you have to take her at her word, even though she did admit these details. And also, she keeps saying, I told you, and I remember exactly where I was when I told you.
We had talked. I remember even where I was in the bathroom upstairs at my house.
The more she tries to explain that she told you, it makes me feel like she knew what she was admitting. And I do agree with Jess that Juan is trying to level the playing field and compare two things that you just can't. These are not the same things.
I just want you to know that I love you, and I mean,
Thanks for loving me, but still feel the same.
That makes my heart sad because you barely just got here.
Exactly.
Oh, God,
I didn't
grow
expect
up.
that Jessica will lie to me. There's a lot of issues we need to work on before we get married.
Well, I'm sure she didn't expect that you would cheat on her. And you lied to her because you only came clean because you got caught cheating. And Jessica wants this to work so bad that I think she's going to overlook pretty much anything with this guy. Back with Matt, Mina, and Annie, we're in the spa and it's jacuzzi time, which is just, I don't know, it's awkward because like two of them start and then they're waiting for Matt's wife, soon to be ex-wife. I don't know.
Very handsome. He's shy.
Yeah, get shy around us.
But yesterday, when he just leave, he had sex with me.
I'm glad you told me. I have much more respect for you telling me that. And you didn't even tell me.
Big smiley little face.
Yeah. Ani and I tried to initiate sex with Amini, and she said no, so we did it without her. Amini's pissed. I don't exactly know what to tell her.
I'm lady too, so I understand.
Yeah, it's all my fault to get it.
Okay, never mind. All right, let's just end this.
Where to begin in this very complex situation? Annie, whatever you want to call her, did she like do that deliberately? Did she like out her and Matt deliberately so it would put a wedge between Amini and Matt? Or did she just do it because she felt guilty? I don't know. That's one of my questions. Matt looking at Annie then, he definitely looked like, what are you doing? What are you telling her? Which is bad because you're all meant to be in a throuple and super open about it. So, and I don't know what it's like to be in a throuple, but I would feel pretty weird if the two of them were having sex while I was sick or asleep. Then Matt feels like both of them are turning on him, which makes sense because Annie's like, I'm a woman. I get it. Maybe Annie's craftier than what we think and she's just got her eyes on Matt.
Just makes me feel like they're ganging up on me. I can't read their minds. They're both females. They're gonna think alike.
Sure, Matt. All ladies think alike. Okay. The more I'm watching this, the more I'm really getting the vibe that maybe Annie just wants Matt for herself. Question mark. Okay, we must go back to Los Angeles and check in with Sapa because he wants to get some clarity now that he's in the US of A.
When I meet any friend, we kiss from the cheeks, even man to man. But will I kiss them?
No, you just shake their hand, babe.
Hug them?
No, you just shake their hand. That's it.
Even very close friends
We
of
don't
yours?
start kissing people when we first meet them here.
I don't know. I watch The Housewives a lot and they are kissing cheeks left and right all the time. I think Shekinah is leading you astray here in many ways, Sapa. But no, if you want to kiss people on the cheek, do it. At the very least, you could give someone a hug. Ask them first. Ask them for consent. As Shekinah is leading him astray, they pick up her dogs from a friend's house, which is basically a mansion. And in that mansion is something I would never have expected. Rich people, am I right?
Where's Ribeye? Ribeye? You open the gate?
Who's Ribeye?
Oh my God.
Oh, it's a cow.
It's a cow. Oh, man.
It's like a little designer cow. Now, I know that people on actual properties and farms have pet cows. Like as a kid, we had a pet cow that was like rejected from its mum. And we called him Bo for bovine. We thought we were very clever. We had like some land, so it made sense that we were allowed to have a cow. But in a suburban area and living in the house, I don't know about having a cow. When they get back to Shekinah's place, it's weird that she was making so much fun of his place, not being a home sweet home, and she hated it because this place, I absolutely hate. It is so tiny, and clearly she works from home, and I know that I make my janky videos from our spare room, but wow. All of this?
There's a lot of facial stuff here.
This is insane.
Because I'm also working
Look
from
at it
home.
all.
But we can't really cook food here because I'm seeing clients and I don't want the place smelling like food. Because it makes the place smell funny, so I don't like to cook food here. You can buy the same stuff that you're making at home, like already made, so it's not a big deal, babe.
It is a big deal. It costs more to go out and eat out all the time. And also, when you eat out, we all know that they put a lot of extra stuff in it to make it delicious, which is really not good for our midsection. And look at Sapa. He doesn't want to be a fat guy again. So Sapa didn't know that this was going to be the situation that he was in. She has completely blindsided him with, okay, BT dubs, this whole area is not for you and we can't use it at all. Like, we can't cook in it whatsoever. She's known this man for a long time. She must know his habits, and to hide stuff and then go, surprise, this is how we're going to live our life when you know that he's not going to be happy with it is so disrespectful.
When I do have clients, babe, like, you can't be here. Most
That's
of my clients
ridiculous.
are female, and I don't want them to feel uncomfortable that a man is in the room. You'll be able to hear what they're saying. That's the problem.
She wants me to go away when her clients in her studio. She didn't tell me anything about those. That's unfair.
Yeah, that's really unfair. That's completely messed up. This guy is moving for you and you admit all this shit. I mean, I don't know what Sapa was like in other series because a lot of people in their comments, I'm getting that there's been like an evolution and he's not always been this guy. But Shekinah, how can you start a life when you expect him to bend all the way for you when you know that he's not good at doing that, by the way? He's not good at relinquishing control, and you're going to kick him out of the space where he doesn't have any other friends, he doesn't have any other place to go. You're going to kick him out of there like a number of times a day. That's so messed up. We need to check back in on Stevie's family and make sure Maddie is okay. And he's still clarifying what he thinks of women and their rights and how he thinks that they should have rights. So it's a good place for him to start.
It just didn't make sense to me. Women are not properties.
Yeah, well, good.
Good answer.
Is anybody hungry or?
Oh, we just moved straight on. Okay. I'm just checking that Stevie is not your property. Anyone else hungry? All right, let's get into it. Stevie made it seem like her dad was going to be this complete monster, but he's actually been pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. He went hard and heavy a little bit too fast when he sat down in the camping chair, but he's not being unkind.
I was really worried about having a conversation with Dad because based off what Stevie has told me, like, Dad would have like a really thick accent you're not going to be able to just follow, but it wasn't like this.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Thanks for telling him I was talking.
No, not different. You have never.
Why you talk about me like that?
Y'all just buried me in a grave today.
Yeah, because I think Stevie is different with different people. I feel like she's not the same consistent person with everybody. I don't know. Does anyone else get that feeling? Put it in the comments. Dad goes on and says the obvious, which is what we're all thinking while we're watching this show. Getting married in 90 days, that is a bold move.
How come you can't wait a little bit longer and get to know each other a little better?
How do you even know that you want to be with Stevie?
I mean, I know you would like to come here because of the freedoms and everything. How are we to know that you just, just didn't want to come to America and get married? And do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it totally makes sense to ask that question.
Do you love each other?
I've never been in love with anyone else more than Stevie. I can assure you that we can live together forever and with love and care for each other.
Huh?
Yeah.
I love when there's a table of straight men and someone talks about like being in love and it makes them really awkward. Like, oh God, it's good that he said that. It's good that he loves her. But can we stop talking about love? It's super gay. I do want to know more about the brother. The brother has a very certain look about him. It seems like he's in some sort of band. I'll let you put in the comments what you think the style of music that band creates. Music. He does feel like he's straight out of an SNL skit. Dad says that he's not going to give his blessing just yet, but everything seems pretty good. And they're actually worried about how it's going to be like for Maddie, which is actually nice that they're thinking of him and not just her. All right, hopefully you have made it this far. If you have, I need you to put either Jordan or Mina in the comments below for who you think is going to actually win Mark's heart in the end, because we're going to finish it off with more Mark and Mina. Last time we were with them, we left mid-Orcs Beach catch-up moment, and Mina has turned around and said that she wants some one-on-one time with Jordan, which I love. I especially love it because Mina says today is not the day for peace.
Ramener la paix, mais aujourd'hui, c'est pas le jour de la paix.
And with that thought in mind, she chooses war, and she calls out Jordan for being two-faced.
I would have expected to feel a bit more welcomed and wanted there. You and my dad say, oh, we're a big family now, but it doesn't feel that way.
This is not my fault. It's Mark's fault.
Right, but if you're going to be his wife, you should be wanting him to have a good relationship with me and my brother still. Do you think it's both of you? But I feel like you could have made more of an effort.
Okay.
Okay. I can't disagree with Jordan. Mina and Mark, if you want to have a nice, cohesive family, Mina, you have to work really, really hard to win everybody over. Now, I get it. If you've tried to be nice and you think you've made a lot of accommodations for Jordan and she's never going to budge and she's never going to change her thoughts on you, fine, chuck her in the bin, whatever. But it sounds like you didn't really try that hard.
You were like 4 hours late to the party, and that was the whole reason we were even in Paris.
Because for me, it's normal. For me, it's normal. It's just I need to have an appointment for my hair, for my makeup.
You were getting your hair and your makeup done while everyone else was at the party with your baby celebrating and you weren't even there.
I know I have a lot of French sweet baby angels who watch this channel. Hi, how are you? Is it normal to be 4 hours late to your own party? I don't know if I'm going to swallow that one. If you've got a party and the party has a start time, you're doing glam way before that so you can make it to the party on time. I don't really understand why you'd be so late to this. Either way, Mina, she's not having it.
I made it pretty clear to him that I'll be very uncomfortable with it if you guys decide to have more babies.
Now this is a big problem for this.
You knew when you started dating my dad that he's a lot older. It's like common sense that if you want a big family and you want to have more babies, that you would pick someone who's younger who can do that, because he's my dad. His kids are in their 20s.
I think maybe because of my age, you think I come here for the green card, for the house.
I mean, yeah, that's obviously my first thought.
Look, I can't diss Jordan for saying that is her first thought. When someone is much younger from a different country and dad's got a bit of cash, you would just be thinking all the things of like, I don't know, does she really love him? Does she really want to be with him? I'm still questioning that from Mina. But ultimately, Jordan, it's not your choice what your dad does in his twilight years. If he wants to have more kids, then that's his right. I don't think he should have more kids, not necessarily because he should respect his first family or anything like that, but because he's an older man and he's not going to be there for a lot of their lives, which I think is disrespectful to have kids that late. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. And it seems like Mark is only having more kids now to keep Mina happy, not necessarily because he wants more kids. But if he does, like I said, that's his right. I also disagree with Mina when she says things like, well, it's my body, my choice. Well, no, both you and Mark have to agree if having kids is the right thing to do.
You're coming into my family and having babies and coming to the US and you're so much younger. Like, how do I know you're not just my dad for his money?
I think you're a snake. You don't come.
You think I'm a snake?
Yes. I think now you don't come into my wedding.
So you don't want me to come to my dad's wedding?
Yes.
So that's fine.
Oh, snake. Is that the end? And what an excellent note to end on. Finally, Mina calling Jordan a snake to her face and disinviting her to the wedding, which obviously Jordan's going to be there. She's not going to miss out on that. Like Jordan, for all of her kicking and screaming, she's going to want to be there because she wants to make sure that she's still in the will. She doesn't want to miss out on any of the money. That's why she's hanging around for dad. I don't know if it's necessarily because she loves him or not. And maybe the same could be said for Mina. I don't know. Like I say, I want to know in the comments who you think is going to end up winning this fight. And I don't care if you know a few episodes ahead of me. Mina or Jordan, who do you think is going to win this fight? Chuck it in the comments and I will see you in the next episode of 90 Day Fiancé tomorrow.